her signal.
Hello, Maeya TV. Welcome for another day of great interviews. I am here with Kat Trevino, a very multifaceted artist. Kat, welcome.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you here. You do a lot of different art, so tell us how you got started.
Well, it was definitely part of my blood. You just kind of grow and you know that you are an artist. I think what Picasso keyed was that we are all artists. The only problem is when we grow up to remain one, which is true because when we grow up, we kind of, lose our imagination and we kind of put borders. But I never grew up, so luckily I have a lot of imagination and a lot of talent in multiple areas of art.
Now, you started your career in technical art.
I did. I was professionally an artist already at 18 when I graduated college, and I did technical work. I did a lot of schematics and even mapping. And I was also a minor for a architectural department, so I like to create worlds and cities and different kind of buildings that we still haven't seen yet in this world.
And then you moved from this very technical world into creative art. Tell us about that transition.
So again, art is kind of everywhere and it's everything. And so I did use math and a lot of technical knowledge for a lot of my art. In fact, a lot of it, like when I do public art, I do maybe murals. I'll put it on a grid form and kind of just, in my head and on the surface kind of, break it down and schematics and make it easier for me. Also, when I do magazine covers, book covers, everything has a kind of format, and math really helps you.
So tell us about the public art that you've done.
So the public art that I first started doing was right out of college, and I went into LA, and I was part of the Mural Row. Mural Row is a famous 101 on Hollywood freeway, and I was amongst many beautiful artists. I was very, blessed to be a part of, and I did butterfly skies, which was my face and butterflies, as my hair. And so that was adorned a lot of the city and backdrops of a lot of movies and series that I still, still show my piece. Unfortunately, after about almost 2 decades, it kind of got graffitied over with all of our other artists that adorn that area, and so they're not really there much anymore. They're kind of coming back with tarps and kind of trying to reinvent it, but we're still on our way to trying to go back and readorn the area.
And you were doing a lot of public art during the COVID quarantine as well.
Yeah, I think I came back when that happened because a lot of people couldn't go to the galleries and the museums. Everybody was locked up, and so we needed an outlet. In fact, the Institute of Therapy in Carolina got a hold of me and 10 other artists in the world, and they created a forum. So they got 2 of them in America. I was lucky to be one of them, and they said we were the top 12 artists in the world. And so we came as a forum in all different formats, from shout artists to dancers to movie, creators, and to literal artists like myself. And that was quite wonderful. So we knew that we needed to expand out. So I started to hit more murals, more even benches and utility boxes. A lot of people are like, what's in the box? I'm like, it's utility. It's what's out that matters. Some people live in a box, I paint them. And so when people couldn't venture out, they were there for everybody to see. And that's great, because it kind of really expanded my audience and brought it all out to the world.
In addition to your murals, you're also a sculptor.
Yes. So I have done glass, and I've done ceramics, plaster, my newest venture I'm very excited about is my metal. So I have new, big, larger than life sculptures coming out real soon. I have 2 of them already in my studio. I have 2 in Mountain Valley that are pretty much done. I'm kind of recreating. They're 4 to 8 feet tall, and they also are adorned with wind features. So each one of them has a hollowed out circle, and I have a wind feature in there that constantly moves. Not just that, but they are adorned with a beautiful paint that changes color. So in the beach, I have them just changing color with a different angle that you could see. So one angle, it looks blue, one angle looks purple. In the desert, there's such extreme weather, like in Palm Springs, where it could be 35 degrees at night and 130 in the afternoon. So the paint changes with the temperature. So it can go from yellow, orange, even with the rain hits it, it turns red. So it's very interactive into the audience and to the environment.
How do you make the paint change colors?
Actually, it's already formatted. Some of it was for cars, actually. So I use like automotive paint, and you see that on the road a lot. Where you're like, "Is that silver? Is that?" And it's really cool. It really attracted my attention. They wanted me to kind of make it a little more interactive and different, and I think I nailed it.
So, what makes metal sculpture unique?
I think like when I first started this, I started my road by doing it on the computer and rendering it, doing kind of like a little cardboard, then a little metal. I got a big piece of wood and I got my saw and I started to do larger than life. And I thought, how am I going to make this environmentally safe and impacting and and durable? So metal. I finally got myself into a silicone metal laser factory that helped me carve my dreams to reality, and it's wonderful just to see something that you have had in your mind and in your portfolio, and then to see it actually develop there's nothing greater. It's so wonderful. I can't wait to share this with the world.
And you also teach sculpture.
I do. I teach sculpture, but I also teach painting. I teach rendering, graphic arts as well. From 5 to 95, I have quite a few different ranges of students, and it's never too late and it's never too early.
So why do you think art is so important for everyone to learn and to create?
It's a great escape. I think everybody needs that outlet. It's an outlet of imagination. It takes you from your daily humdrum life into just, fantasy. My creations are very surreal, and I kind of want you to come into the world and just lose yourself into the great escape of art, which connects us all.
And then now you're also moving into the world of fashion.
Yes. Now, a couple years ago, I had somebody find me on Instagram, and they said, we would love to have your art in Fashion Week. And I thought, fashion? I'm not doing fashion. How am I going to, get here? And they said, well, no, art is everywhere. Art is fashion. We just want your art to be adorning the beautiful area after the catwalk. So I've done it for a couple years, and this last one, I was so pleased to bring my artwork into the fashion world with my fashion as well. So I had my fashion with my art, as this is one of them. I have a lot of different categories right now. This one is very casual, and I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be able to wear it every day. So actually I did wear this on one of the days on Fashion Week, and I kind of dressed it up with a really cool little skirt and some heels, and you could dress it down, dress it up. I also have swimwear, I have a lot of kimonos and loungewear, and I have a new line of activewear, so always evolving.
Now, tell us about this piece of art that you're wearing right now.
Now, this piece is called Plein Air. Plein Air because actually it has a paper airplane, and this is actually an AI of me. I do that a lot. You will see my image somewhat on a lot of my pieces because I am the art. This is part of me. I want you to submerge yourself into art in my world and just have fun.
And in addition to fashion and to displaying your stuff publicly, you've had your work displayed all over the world.
Yes. I have not left the States, but my art has ventured the world. So a couple years ago, I had somebody in London say, we'd love to have you in Bromers. So that one was a really trendy little gallery that I had the pleasure of having my work part of. They printed my work from a digital copy, they framed it, and they had it in their cool little gallery up on the London Tower, and that was my first taste of what it should be like. After that, I had Art Boxy, and they were able to get my format, and I went to 5 different countries last year. My art went to 5 different countries last year. So they project it into the galleries, and it just gives me a worldwide, audience, and I really love that.
Now, you do art in so many different mediums. What do you think connects all of these for you?
Well, like I said, art kind of connects us all, and I've evolved from so many different levels, and it's endless. I mean, you look around. I teach my students. I tell them, look around you and look around when you go home, and you will see everything is art. Everything, billboards, signs, advertisements, buses, cars. Everything is art, and so everything pretty much merges to one another. It's a progression of art, but it's all art.
Now, what have been your inspirations?
Inspirations would just be pretty much life fantasy dreams. I wake up and they go, how did you think of this? I don't even know. Sometimes it really possesses you, and you're trying to create something that's just beautiful, and sometimes it just flows. Sometimes it doesn't. I have a 13-year-old son, and I have had the pleasure of watching his beautiful self grow up and look through the eyes of a child once again, and it's quite a beautiful, unique experience to just, see fresh again and to start new, and everything is just something that we can create from.
Are there any artists who have been very inspirational to you?
I would say I really tend to like the Spanish artists, not just because I am Spanish. It just so happens that they all have impacted my life greatly, and that would be Picasso, and Frida Kahlo, and that would be Salvador Dali. He is the surreal king, and I have been compared by him. And I actually do share the muse of Salvador Dali, I'm proud to say. So Morgane Pichard is a beautiful model that he had first met in Paris in the 80s. She was a ballerina then, and they would go to frequent cafes, and he would draw her on the napkins, and as soon as they got up, the public would just scurry them up, and she didn't know what was going on. Why would they want my paintings or little scribbles? Now I think some of them are actually in the Louvre. Or soon after that, she went to New York to model for Picasso's daughter, who also had a jewelry line. And about 12 years ago, I was able to finally have the pleasure of meeting Morgane at Vex. It was a gallery in LA. Run by Joe Vex, who was a music producer, and we wanted to kind of recreate Studio 54. So Morgane would bring the fashion, I would bring the art, and Joe would bring the music. It worked for a little while, but I think we all had our own, thoughts, and it didn't quite pan out. But our our friendship did, and that really inspired me too. I had created a lot of pieces of Morgane. I even have a coffee table book, and she actually is also a French jazz singer, and she opens for me on occasion on a lot of museums and galleries as well.
That's wonderful.
It really is.
So, going back to the fashion that you're doing, making a collection takes a lot of work. So what goes into that?
It does. And in fact, just 2 days ago, I did another collection inspired by one of my friends. He was showing me a Warhol piece that his boyfriend bought him, and it was some shorts that had one short piece adorned by it, and I thought that's so cool. And so I did a couple of lines of shorts last night, and they're now available online. And again, I'm just trying to, have it for everybody. So, and whether it's hot or cold, whether you're fancy or cash, I just wanted to be able to be part of everybody's life.
Now, when you teach your students about art, what's the most important thing for them to take away?
Never to lose their imagination, and always to follow their heart, and always create, constantly create. I have a lot of students that want to have this be part of their lives as a career, and a lot of them that don't. But I think that in any case, whatever you are, I want it to be part of your life. Whether, it's creative or not, it's definitely something that you just need to, embrace.
Kat, thank you so much for being here with us. Where can our audience find out more about your art?
That would be on my website. That would be kattworks.com, kattworks.com.
I'll be sure to check that out and keep an eye out for when your work will be presented next for the next fashion show. I'm so excited to see that.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
And stay tuned. We have more great interviews coming up.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.